And we can just start on the mat, just to get a little bit in the headspace that we're looking for. So you can sit down, cross-legged. If that's not comfortable, you can extend your legs, whatever's comfortable, butterfly. And you can have your palms down to ground you, or you can have your palms up for energy and inspiration. Chin level with the floor, lifting up through the spine. So we're not slumping, we're really trying to feel our head trying to reach for the sky. And close your eyes and let's take 5 deep and slow Ujjayi breaths, that whisper breath in and out. And slowly open your eyes, turn your palms down. If they're not there, we're just going to take a gentle spinal twist to each side, very slow, turning your head as well, getting some movement through the neck, keeping that tall spine, head reaching up to the sky, just getting a little movement here. As we prepare for our practice. Shake it out. We're going to come to a standing position and get ready to start our Vinyasa series. Let's just get set up first. Feeling our body, feel your feet anchored into the ground. Lift up your toes, set them down one at a time on the mat. Engage your inner thighs as though you're drawing your legs together, but don't actually do it. I don't want you to misalign your knees. Lift your rib cage up off your waist. Roll your shoulder blades down your back to open up your chest. Open up your palms and take a couple of breaths here in our mountain pose, Tadasana, feeling yourself anchored to the earth, strong and tall like a mountain. Nice, really good. Okay, getting ready to come into our Vinyasa. We are going to start by standing in that tall mountain pose, and we're gonna inhale our arms up, and exhale, swan dive, fold. Flat back, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up, exhale, palms to heart center. Let's repeat that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, fold. Flat back, fold. Inhale, rise. Palms to heart center. Last time, we're gonna hold that last fold. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, exhale, stay here. Let your head fall toward the mat. You can hold onto your each elbow in a ragdoll pose. Inhaling and exhaling, trying to bring your head closer to the mat. You can gently sway your upper body side to side. Again, getting a little bit of a spinal twist like we had. Sitting down on the mat. Trying to let the back of the legs, especially those hamstrings, let go. Give us a little more stretch here. One last time, inhale up. And exhale, palms to heart center. Really nice. Okay, coming into our full vinyasa series. We are going to inhale up and exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back into your plank. You can be on toes or on knees, depending on where you are today. Let's hold this for 2 breaths. Pushing your heels back behind you, pulling the top of the head toward the wall in front of you. Inhaling and then exhale into our chaturanga, toes or knees, hugging the elbows to the rib cage. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Let's hold this here. I think I didn't remember to automatically mute everyone, so let me get that to go while you are sitting there in your down dog. There we go. Perfect. Okay. In that down dog, step your feet up to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Let's add on to that for our next one. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back into your plank. Inhale here, and then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Letting the heels float down toward the mat, dropping your head as far as you can down between your arms. Look up between your hands. Lift that right leg up and step it between your hands. We're gonna start with a runner's lunge here and a one-legged standing split. I've got my block here to help me. You can always use a book, a large book, or a box if you want a block and you don't have one. Stretching that, pressing the heel behind you, stretching the head toward the wall again, trying to rest your torso on that extended thigh. Oh, this should feel good, this oppositional stretch. Bringing your fingertips or your palms to the mat, we're gonna step into that one-legged standing forward fold. So just bring that back foot up off the mat, holding on to, you can have your hands on the mat, trying to have one hand on your leg, trying to have both hands on your leg to work on that balance. Point the toe behind you and try to lift it into the air as we hold here for 3 breaths. If you have a block, you can also use your block for balance. Exhale, step that foot back. Bring your palms to the mat. Step the front foot back to meet it into your plank. And exhale, chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. Reset here. This time, lift your left leg into the air, look between your hands, and plant that left foot in between your hands. A fist on either side of that foot, pressing the back heel back, pressing your head forward. Good oppositional stretch across your whole body. Not letting the head drop. We want to have a straight spine. Trying to relax that upper body onto the thigh. You can always put a knee down if this is feeling more like work and less like a stretch, and you're wanting more of a stretch, always feel free to modify. A couple more breaths here. And now preparing for that standing single-legged forward fold. Fingertips or palms to the mat. Step that back leg back into the air. Trying to hold onto the mat. One hand on your leg, both hands on your leg. Point that back toe, working to keep your hips parallel to the mat, not opening toward that leg that's extended behind you. Getting as much height as we can in that back leg. 2 more breaths here. And fingertips or palms back to the mat. Set your back leg down. Step your front leg back to meet it. Holding here in this plank. Chaturanga, elbows hug the rib cage. Up dog. And down dog. Take a moment to relax here. And coming into our warrior series, lift that right leg into the air, step it between the palms. This time we'll turn that back leg down and come up to a standing position. Pressing the outside of that back foot down into the mat. And as we inhale and then exhale, trying to float down a little closer to the mat. Hold here for 3 breaths. Bring your palms to heart center. Opening up to the side, opening your hips to the wall. We are going to come into our warrior 2. Make sure you see your big toe inside your knee. Gaze over the front fingers. Really open that back shoulder so that your chest is parallel to the wall. And that movement really comes from the back shoulder rotation. Holding here for 3 breaths. Flip the palm up, reaching back into our peaceful warrior, fingertips above or below the knee. Thinking about ribcage up and over, gaze underneath that top arm. Hold for 3. And coming into our extended side angle, tuck your elbow inside that thigh. Open the arm, palms up on that bottom arm with energy, not having that bottom arm droopy. Again, looking under the extended arm and floating down on those exhales. Palms to the mat. Come lifting up that back heel. We're just gonna do a lizard pose here to get a little bit of a hip opener. So walk that front foot to the edge of your mat. You can keep your knee up or you can drop it down. You can stay up here on your hands. You can come down to your elbows if that's available to you. I'm going to use the block. I can't quite come all the way down on my elbows, but I do want a nice stretch here. Adjust the position of that front leg. I'm walking my toes forward to make sure I'm not putting any pressure on my knee. You want a 90-degree angle on that knee. Rest here for 3. Bringing your hands back to the mat, lifting up onto the back toe, walk that front foot in a little. Now step back into your plank, coming through our Vinyasa, Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Repeating that sequence on our left. Lift the left foot into the air, step it forward between the palms, rotate your right foot down to the mat, pressing the outside of the foot into the mat, making sure our hips are facing forward. In this warrior one, shoulders down, shoulder blades down the back. Definitely don't want them up by our ears. Hold here for 3. Palms to heart center, opening into warrior 2. So hips open to the side, knee stays very open, rotating this back shoulder back to get that chest parallel. Gaze over the front fingertips, 3 breaths. Flip that front hand. Let's tilt back into our peaceful warrior, lifting that spear to the sky, rib cage up and over, fingertips above or below the knee. Hold for 3. Lift up, tucking that elbow inside the thigh, bottom hand strong, palm up to the sky, extended side angle, floating down on those exhales if you can. And now palms to the mat, lifting up the back heel, coming up on that toe walk, the left foot, that front foot to the side of your mat. You can keep the knee up or you can drop the knee. You can stay here with hands on the mat. You can bring your elbows to the mat. Whatever you need to get your good stretch. Adjust the position of your feet as needed so that you're not putting any pressure on your knee or any other joints. Definitely not wanting to do that. We're getting a good stretch right here in our hip flexor of our back leg, our right leg, and we're getting a good stretch in the hip of our front leg, our left leg. Holding here for 3. I would encourage you not to drop your head, not wanting to mess with our orthostatic pressure here. And bringing the palms back to the mat, lifting up onto that back toe, walking the front foot in, stepping the front foot back to our plank position, coming through our Chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. You should feel some nice openness happening in your hips. You can walk your feet one after the other to get more concentrated stretch through each calf and ankle. And now you can walk or jump your feet toward your hands. Flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale up into a reverse swan dive. Exhale, palms to heart center. And drop your palms coming into that Tadasana mountain pose. We'll just reset here for 3 breaths before we go into a more fluid vinyasa. Okay, getting ready for that warrior series that's gonna flow with our breath. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to your plank. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale up to warrior one. One breath. Inhale and exhale to warrior two. One breath. Inhale, flip your palm. Exhale to peaceful warrior. One breath. Inhale and exhale to extended side angle. One breath. Inhale, palms to the mat. Step your foot back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot. Exhale, step. Inhale, up to warrior one. One breath. Inhale, exhale to warrior two. One breath. Inhale, exhale the fingertips back. One breath. Inhale, exhale to extended side angle. One breath. Palms to mat. Inhale that leg back. Exhale to a plank. Inhale up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale those feet, those hands stepping or jumping to flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, palms to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, stepping back into that plank. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot into the air. Exhale, step it up. Inhale to warrior one. One breath. Inhale, palms to heart center. Exhale to warrior two. One breath. Inhale, flip the palm. Exhale to peaceful warrior. One breath. Inhale, exhale yourself over to side angle. One breath. Palms to mat. Inhale the foot back. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Left foot in the air. Inhale. Exhale. Step into warrior one. One breath. Inhale to palms to heart center. Exhale to warrior two. One breath. Inhale, flip your palm. Exhale to peaceful warrior. Inhale, Exhale to side angle. Inhale, palms to mat. Step the foot back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's stay here for 2 breaths and then let's come down into child's pose. And bring your head forward, drop your knees to the mat. Bring your big toes together. Open your knees really wide. Palms flat on the mat, fingers spread. And push yourself back into child's pose. Forehead on the mat. I like to try to bring the tip of my nose to the mat to get a good stretch here. If you want a more restful posture, you can bring your palms together to make a pillow for your forehead or right in front of your head. If you don't want to keep those arms engaged, if you want some stretch and engagement in your arms, keep those fingertips open and extended on the mat. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Rise up into a tabletop. Open up your toes, getting set up for cat and cow, just to get our spine moving. Exhale, drop your spine, lift your chin. Inhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. Oh, opposite, I always say it wrong. Inhale to cow, exhale to cat. Take it at your own pace a few more times when you feel like you've had enough. Meet me in a standing position. So Warren, you are our superstar here who made it to yoga on a beautiful day. I suspect most everyone else is out running. I have a bunch of inversions planned. Does that sound good to you, or is there anything you want to do in particular?
I'm good with anything except my shoulder's killing me. So
okay.
Other than more shoulder stuff.
Okay. I will avoid the shoulder stuff. Thank you for letting me know.
All right.
Great. Okay, perfect. So let's start with a Crescent Lunge series. And we can skip the Vinyasa to get into it to spare your shoulder a bit. So let's just start in our tall Tadasana pose. Bring palms to heart center. Spread out your feet. Bringing the back toes on the mat. Front foot, so we have a 90-degree angle with that knee. Feeling your hips facing to the front. Oh, this feels good. So we're going to lift our arms up to the sky, shoulders down. If that's hurting your shoulders, always palms at heart center is a great option. And let's just settle into this lunge for a minute. Really pushing that back foot behind you, concentrating on having a strong core so that your spine is straight up and down. And now palms to heart center. If that's not where they are, you can drop your knee to the mat. If balance is challenging you today, and we're gonna do a twist, hooking that elbow outside the front thigh, looking up to the sky, if you can, holding this twist. And slowly untwisting, palms back up to the sky. Open your hands, press your palms behind you. If you want, you can grasp your hands together, but if you just want a chest stretch here, you can push your palms behind you. And straightening that front leg, big step so that the feet meet, arms up. Exhale to our Tadasana. Resetting, especially feeling that core as we reset, that's lifting your spine so straight and lifting the rib cage above the waist, because we are using it a lot in this posture. This time, stepping the left foot way back, palms to heart center to start, getting set up so that we have a 90-degree angle between our foot and our ankle, and our lower leg and our upper leg. Palms to heart center, feet are at least hip distance apart. We're not on a balance beam here. Lifting arms up or keeping the hands at heart center. We are just gonna rest here to let ourselves feel this pose. Pushing the heel back. Making sure that front knee isn't collapsing. If arms are up, shoulder blades are down the back. And palms to heart center, keeping this position or dropping that knee down to the mat. If balance is not feeling great today, hooking the outside elbow, hooking the elbow to the outside of that front thigh, trying to keep the palms at heart center. I'm much more concerned about that position than the extent of the twist. That keeps you grounded. If the palms are coming up to the shoulder, your body is kind of out of alignment. So I'm trying to keep those palms at heart center. And untwisting, coming back to this lunge. Again, pressing the palms back or clasping the hands if that doesn't put too much pressure on your shoulder. I'll use my trusty towel for a strap here. Standing here in this posture especially helps us really work on engaging the core to have a tall, straight spine so that we're not pitched forward, but we're leaning up. We're not letting those glutes push back. We've got our hips right underneath us. So the tailbone and the cervical spine, everything is in alignment, top to bottom of the spine. And taking big steps to get yourself back in alignment. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms to the side, resetting our posture. I got turned upside down. Okay, coming back to the mat, we are going to do a bridge pose. So we're going to just come starting in our stable table position. Again, just a little bit of cat-cow to make sure our spine is ready to move. You can wiggle your hips side to side to get that lateral motion going too. And then we are going to come down onto the mat. Feet, walking those heels as close to your glutes as they can get. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. So kind of squeeze them together to meet, palms flat. Traditionally, we will hold on to our palms underneath us, but if that's putting pressure on your shoulders, keep your palms flat because that will put the work more in your glutes and your quads and less in your shoulders. So inhale, and as you exhale, start to rotate that pelvis. So starting from the pelvis, we are going to let's just do a few of those rotations. So inhale, exhale, bring the tailbone up. Inhale, get a big exaggerated arch in that spine. Exhale, just barely bring the tailbone up off the mat. Inhale, exhale. 2 more of these prep moves. Inhale, exhale, really engage your core to push all of your breath out of your lungs. Inhale 1 more time. Exhale, just strong engagement of the diaphragm to empty those lungs. Making sure those palms are flat and those shoulder blades are tucked. Lift up each toe, set it down individually, and exhale all the way up into this bridge pose. Tuck the shoulder blades even more. I'm going to use my towel as a strap. You can clasp hands. You can keep palms flat on the mat. Whatever works for you. Gaze is straight up ahead. Hips are so high in the air, way, way, way high. Knees are attracted to one another, so we're definitely not letting them open up. We don't want to do a knock knee either because that puts pressure on the knee. Holding here for 3. And let go of your hands, 1 vertebra at a time. Exhale back down to the mat. You can move your knees side to side to get some relief in that spine. We're going to do the same thing. We are going to do 1-legged bridge on each side with a little bit of rest in between. So get set back up in your posture, inhaling. Exhale, roll that spine up into the air. Plant your right foot or your left foot really firmly and lift that right leg into the air. One leg is always an option, of course. You can stick with 2 legs. Slowly bring that foot back to the mat. Lift, lift, lift those glutes high up in the air. We always lose a little bit of elevation, at least I do. I'm coming into that single leg isolation. And now exhale 1 vertebra at a time down to the mat. Move your knees side to side to release your spine before we go into the other side. Getting yourself set up, walking those heels in toward the glutes. Inhaling, exhaling, roll, roll, roll. That spine up into the air. Choose your hand position. This time plant your right foot really firmly and lift that left foot into the air. Keeping those hips as high as you can. Setting that foot down, lift the hips up 1 more time. And letting go of your hands to make room for your hips. Slowly, slowly, slowly roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Let's do an oppositional stretch by coming into happy baby. Legs in the air, you can hold onto your thighs, your calves, your ankles, or your feet. And we'll just get that nice elongating stretch for the lower back, the lower spine, to counteract any shortening that we did there. You can rock gently side to side if that's nice for you. And I can confirm that my toddler son does instinctively do this on occasion, so I think that the name Happy Baby is not too inapt. All right, letting go of those feet, extending the legs, extending the arms. We're gonna sit up on an exhale. Bringing your legs into cross leg. We're just gonna roll over them so that we can come back to a standing position. Tuck your feet under, roll back, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, palms to heart center. We're going to come to a standing V to a humble warrior. So standing V, legs super, super wide apart. Toes straight forward, almost feel like your big toes are turned in toward one another. Unless you have a lot of ankle mobility, that's probably not going to happen, but that's what it should feel like. Feel your hips are even here, facing straight forward. You can have hands on hips to start. Inhale, we'll do a tiny back bend. So your back bend can be as simple as just lifting your chin up to the sky, or you can think about lifting up and over with your back, up and over, dropping the head back. And then coming, exhaling down to this standing V. Take your hands, drop them down to the mat. Fingertips pointing forward. You can try to walk your palms back so that your wrists are even with your heels. Dropping your head here. And taking a nice rest and stretch. Really feel myself settling into this as we go through our giant breaths. A little different part of my body is letting go with it. Bring your hands back up to your waist. Slowly bringing your head up. Flip your feet to face the front and spread your feet so that they're about hip distance apart. They're not that far in distance. We're coming into our humble warrior. So your front leg shouldn't be too far in front of you. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can grab onto your opposite elbow. You can bring your hands into prayer behind you. Whatever is most comfortable for you. We're coming into our humble warrior. So again, tiny back bend, as little as just lifting your chin to the sky to get some distance here, or as big as lifting your rib cage back up and over. Strong core here to support this weight that's all reaching back behind you. You don't want to topple over. And exhale into a fold in this humble warrior. Making sure your hips aren't swiveling toward the back so that the hip of the leg that's behind you, for me that's my right leg, should be actively twisting toward the front to resist against the temptation to open. And as you twist that hip to the front, you should feel an even stronger stretch in the hamstring of your front foot. Slowly rise up, opening the feet back into that super wide V. This time you can have your hands on your hips, or you can clasp your palms behind you. Oh my gosh, time. How did this happen? And we're going to come forward. We'll just finish this series and then have a very short Savasana. I'm sorry about that. We are going to stretch forward. Again, toes feeling like, those big toes feeling like they're almost pointing toward each other. Letting go the inner thigh, letting go of those hamstrings and the back of the legs. Really nice. Bringing hands back to your waist, slowly rising up this time. Turn to the other side, spread your feet so that they're hip distance. Both feet facing forward. If you grasp elbows, try to grab them the other way this time. So other arm on top. You can take your little back bend or your bigger back bend. And now we will fold forward into our humble warrior. Again, rotating that back hip toward the front. I promise it's impossible to overcorrect with your legs like this. So be as active as you can with twisting that back hip to the front to really get that nice stretch of the front leg. Letting your head drop. Nice deep bow. Palm the hands to your waist. Slowly rise up. Step your feet together. Inhale. Exhale, fold. You should feel so much more open now, I hope. I am practically palms flat on the mat, which is very unusual for me after those good stretches. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, you can come through the whole vinyasa, or you can just come to your savasana, depending on how your shoulders are feeling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale to down dog. Step those feet all the way through the hands. And slowly transitioning to laying down flat on the mat. Opening up your palms, tucking your shoulder blades underneath you, letting those feet fall open at just a natural distance. For me, that's hip distance. It could be wider or narrower for you, just a natural distance. Feeling the earth supporting your weight here. Close your eyes and allow your breathing and your heart rate to slow. Feel an awareness in your body of all the work that you've done today. Feel that awareness in your calves that you stretched in our down dog, in your hamstrings that we stretched with our humble warrior, in your inner thighs that we stretched with our V, across your chest and shoulders that we stretched during our Crescent Lunge series. Feeling it in your lower back, that we worked with those back bends and the bridges. Send appreciation to all those muscles that supported those stretches. And now rolling onto one side, keeping your eyes closed. Using your arm as a pillow, bending your knees, tucking your feet together into a fetal position. So we get ready to transition to our seated half lotus. Lotus. And slowly push yourself up to seated, keeping your eyes closed if you're comfortable with that. Bring your palms to heart center. Feel your chin level with the floor. Feeling your tall spine. Should feel a little bit unkinked from sitting at our desk all morning. Inhale your palms to your forehead. Third eye, the center of your intuition. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, if you would like, you can join me in a bow. Namaste. Thank you for coming to yoga today on such a beautiful day. I hope that you can get out into the sunshine to enjoy it a little. This was really great. And thanks for letting me know